Hello everybody, it's Pat Ow. I'm going to review the Suzuki LS 650, also known as the Suzuki Savage. This, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated motorcycles out there. And I have always been a motorcycle enthusiast, and I had never heard of this bike. I just saw this at the dealer one day. So here I go. I don't want to do a walk around in my driveway as far as this review goes, so I ride to the secret hideaway that I'm going to now, which is about 1.5 miles, just a little dead-end street. But yeah, so Suzuki LS 650, this model is the 1996. They made it, I believe, in silver and yellow. That's the one that I'm riding right now. I don't actually mind it. It's a little bit of a weird color. You don't see a lot of motorcycles this color nowadays. Or maybe you do, I don't know. In the US, at least, I don't. So anyway, here's a little story as to how I got this bike. I'm pretty tall in my family. I'm only 5'10", but most of my family, especially on the female side, are right around 5 foot nothing. So my sister is 4'11". She wanted to learn how to ride, and I have this little Kawasaki KE100 that has like a 31.5-inch seat height, which was way too tall for her short inseam. But this was not, so I just went to the dealer to get a quart of oil, and I always browsed through the used bike section. I walked back, and I was like, what is this Suzuki Savage? So I sat on it. It only weighs like 350 pounds. I'll get into that in a second. But I kind of thought, just from the size and from sitting on it, that it was like a 250 or, you know, an older, when they used to make 300 or 350cc bikes, and it's a 650. I will say it's a little bit on the slower side for a 650, but I thought this would be a great bike, at least size-wise, weight-wise, height-wise, all that kind of stuff to teach her on. The only bad thing about it, if you're going to teach somebody, is that this has a little bit of a longer first gear, so by the time you get the clutch all the way out, you're moving pretty good, like maybe right around 10 miles per hour. So that's maybe the only off-putting thing for somebody who would be a beginner and starting on this. But if somebody's like taking the MSF course and all that kind of stuff and they're good to go, I think this would be absolutely perfect. It's short, it's light, it's maneuverable, and it's not super intimidating, but it actually goes highway speed. So here we go, let's take a look at it. A brief history overview of the Savage. From 1986 to 2004, it was called the Suzuki Savage. It's still the Suzuki LS 650. From 2005 to present, it was renamed the S40 Boulevard. Basic specification, 652 cc's, 4-stroke engine, air-cooled, carbureted, single-cylinder, 31 horsepower, belt drive, 352 pounds, 5-speed unless you got it before 1993, then it was just a 4-speed. 28-inch seat height, which means if you're 4'10" or taller, you can ride it just fine, and a 2.5-gallon fuel tank averaging 50 to 60 miles per gallon. Here's what the bike looks like from the outside. It's a wide-angle lens, so it does look a little smaller than it is in person, but it basically looks like a 250 to a 350cc motorcycle. It's significantly smaller than most 650s. Here's the throttle, the starter, and the kill switch, and I've also installed an aftermarket throttle lock. Here's the speedometer and left and right turn signal as well as a high beam, and here's a clock that I installed as well. On the left handle, it's the high and low beam, turn signals, and horn, and here is the rear brake, and you can see the pipe is blue a little bit. They come out lean from the factory. Toolkit cover, the batteries behind the LS 650. Here's the belt, and you can see the left shock as well as the ignition, which is down here. The idle screw, which is back in here to adjust idle speed, the choke and fuel shutoff valve is right there. There's a single cylinder. And basic overview of the lights. As you can see, I have a neutral light here. When you turn the left turn signal on, you get a little indicator there. The high beam is the blue one in the middle. There's the right turn signal. And as you can see, no tachometer. Just a basic speedometer here. I don't personally like this setup for a speedometer because I wear a full face helmet. I think if you wore just a half face helmet, or if you live in one of those states where you don't have to wear a helmet and you choose not to do that, you'd be able to see it with just a glance down. But it's actually out of my field of vision when I'm wearing a full face helmet. So if I had it my way, I would mount the speedometer up by where the headlight is, as you can see. In my last review with the Kawasaki KE100, I made a left on the highway, which is a 55 mile per hour zone, but since I want to demonstrate that this thing will get up to freeway speeds and handle that just fine, I'm going to hang a right as I get out of this area. It's a very, I shouldn't say very, it's a reasonably comfortable bike to ride. I don't know if I would want to drive it across the country. The forward-facing pegs, I've always been a standard guy and kind of like a sport bike type rider. I honestly could say, like, I really do like sitting like this. The bars, which they switched, if you look at the bars, they're sitting up high and kind of like swept backwards, and then my wrists kind of face outward. They did that, they did a different style bar, I want to say in 2005 when they made it the S40 Savage. They put a straight bar on that's a little bit lower, so I can't say whether that's more or less comfortable. It's probably just more based on personal preference. I'm sure you could change them out very easily. I've seen other guys do modifications where they lower them or bring them up a little bit. I feel like that ape hanger type look. Alright, so this is putting me on I-35, which is a 70 mile per hour speed limit. I was hoping not to get stuck behind these cars because I want to give you guys a representation as to like what it'll do. It's not that quick, especially even for a 650. It only does the quarter mile in about, I think it was 15 seconds, so compared to a car, that's pretty respectable, but compared to other motorcycles, that's not very fast. Honestly, if somebody could make a cruiser that was as fast as my Honda, I would be all over that. I kind of like sitting like this. I also like a bike with some performance. I don't mind the straight up riding position either, though. So if you're not going to be the guy that's riding from coast to coast and on this thing all day, every day, I think this is a good bike for you. So right now we're doing 70. You can probably see that I have to keep glancing down to see the speedometer. So if you really care as to like how fast you're going, I don't know if you can see that or not, then it's just tough to keep looking back and forth, but not the biggest of deals. So I got up to 80. It seems like it handled it just fine. I will say that personally I've had it up to like 85, which is the top speed. That's the throttle all the way back as far as it'll go in 5th gear. So I'm going to make a right-hand turn back around, and then there's this little road that parallels the freeway that has a lot of good views of some lakes. It's a lot more scenic than riding the freeway. So it moves around a little bit. It handles it fine on the freeway. You get a little bit of buffeting, and you're going to see me seemingly break the law here. I don't know if you saw, but that light was red. I was just sitting at that light forever through 2 cycles. I don't know what this state law says. Different laws are different for different states, but they say if you're sitting at it for a reasonable amount of time, you can run it. My bike, I shifted it in the lane, I moved it forward, I moved it backwards, it didn't set it off. So here's one of the cool views. You can actually go park down there and walk kind of along a pier, and canoers will go under this bridge right here under the freeway, and then if you look to the left, you probably can't see it, but there's the other side of the lake. It's kind of cool. See it every once in a while. Yeah, like I said, it's a fun little bike. I bought it just to teach my sister, or I've taught a couple friends on it, but I'm keeping it. I absolutely love it. It's just a lot of fun to ride. It's maneuverable, it's light, it'll get up to highway speed. It actually handles just fine with somebody on the back too. So let's go over the pros and cons list. Pros, it's a perfect entry-level bike. Like I said, it's light, but it'll get up to highway speed. It's got a low seat height, good amount of speed and power, light and maneuverable. They're cheap to buy. $2,000 used for a decent one. You can get them cheaper if you hunt for it. Cheap to insure. I'm not sure what I pay exactly. And the cons. It's not super comfortable on longer rides. It's a smaller gas tank, 2.8 gallons. It's a little bit underpowered for a 650. Vibration and buzzy. There's absolutely no frills, no tachometer, no trip meter, no fuel gauge. Gauges are a little bit difficult to see, as I talked about with a full face helmet. They come too lean out of the factory, which means that they backfire. And the plug, which I'll show you right here, leaks a little bit of oil. You can get that replaced if you want to. So who would I recommend this motorcycle to? Well, basically anybody, but specifically somebody starting out in motorcycling, somebody looking for simple, basic, and reliable transportation, and someone short, although I'm 5'10" with a 31-inch inseam, and I fit just fine. I think the longest I've ever been on this bike is, I've taken it out all day a couple times, but to me all day is like a 4 or 5 hour ride. I just am not really like a ride across the country kind of guy. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Love this little 1996 Suzuki Savage. I'm sure the S40 is just as nice. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.